Welcome to the party. It's your boy Malatent. I'm giving you sorry for being so late on this, but patch notes just came out a while ago, and of course I was busy doing my job at work. Oh my God, they were killing me at work today. So I was on a conference call from like 10 a.m. to like 4 p.m. Then I thought I was free, got enough time to eat, and as soon as I ate, another call came in. So I was working from that time. I think it was about from 5:30 on until now. So that's another 3.5 hours, maybe 3.5 hours or so, that I just was on another conference call trying to fix some stuff. People don't know how hard it is to keep the internet up. Alright, so going through our patch notes. Want to make sure we go through our patch notes and deal with the patch notes and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and make sure the music is low enough that it ain't gonna be a hindrance. There you go. That should be very low, very low, very low. Alright, so normal challenges stuff. This is going to be the normal challenger thing, saying, hey, we're starting the league, you're going to have some more challenges. Get the challenges, you get free MTX. That's pretty much what that covers. Alright, here we go. Major new content. Added a new intelligence skill gem. Blazing Salvo fires projectiles that impact around a targeted location. The impact our areas can overlap, hitting a target multiple times. The further away your target, the wider the area across which these projectiles can land. Kind of like a shotgun situation. Closer, a lot of them hit you. The further away, less of them going to hit you. Added a new intelligence skill gem, Void Sphere. Creates a spear that targets locations, deal physical and chaos damage at regular intervals while pulling enemies toward the center. Enemies at the center of the spear have less movement speed. Added a new skill gem, Crackling Lance, dealing lightning damage to enemies in an area in front of the caster. Repeated casts intensify the damage dealt and narrow the range of enemies it hits. So I got a question on that. Since it's a lightning spell, and let's just say I have fork on there or something like that, even though I intensify it and bring it down to a tighter beam, will I still be able to fork and hit the other guys? I'm just just a couple of questions I have. Intelligence gem. This is the one I really want to know about. It doesn't do anything for my current build, but I kind of like it. Frost Shield. Creates a frost shield in an area which consumes energy shield over a short period, gaining stages, which makes it more powerful. The shield absorbs a portion of incoming damage and increases your chance to deal critical strikes while you're within it. So it has nothing to do with the current build I was planning on starting off with, because I'm doing elemental overload. Really don't care if I crit or not too much. I mean, if I crit, I crit. If I don't, I don't. It's no extra damage from it. Splitting Steel consumes a steel shard to fire a single projectile that deals damage in the area when it splits on impact at the end of the flight. So that's okay. Another one this is the biggest one for me. This particular league start, Sigil of Power. I wish I had more information on this because it doesn't really give me what I want to know. Sigil of Power creates an area which causes your skill to consume more mana but deal added lightning damage while you stand within it. Enemies within the area deal reduced damage. The sigil grows more powerful based on the mana spent while you are in it. So, one of the things Archmage. I mean, I just see it as an Archmage boost. but it's not going to be like a huge boost because Archmage already has flat damage. So it's adding more lightning damage to the flat damage you have. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're going to get a boost in damage. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's not that big of a game changer, except for maybe the reduced damage when you charge it up. So when you execute, will I be able to charge it up like that with an Archmage or not? I mean, because I'm spending tons of mana. I mean, 600 mana in one quick shot. So that actually, will that charge that up all the way up, or will it just barely tweak it? Flame Wall creates a wall of fire which deals burning damage to enemies within the area applied to a secondary debuff and burns a short duration after they leave. Projectiles you fire through the wall deal added fire damage and apply the secondary debuff to enemies they hit. So didn't think that was going to be a real big thing, but then after I started thinking about it, it's one of those ones that kind of sleeps on you. And what I mean by that is it a little bit of an enhanced damage? You know, will you get a good tick of damage by just throwing it up? I mean, if I throw it up and I've got elemental damage increase and some more damage increase, etc., and I throw the firewall up there and I shoot lightning through it, how much damage do I get boosted out of it? Don't know. It's one of those things I want to try out and see if it looks like. Hex Blast. Deal chaos damage to a targeted enemy. If the enemy is hexed, it will remove the hex, dealing more damage based on the amount of doom on the removed hex, and dealing damage in the area around the enemy. Also removing the hexes from enemies hit by the area and dealing more damage where applicable. Just, hey, you got that guy cursed, boom, explosion. Pretty much simple. Think it's going to be a pretty interesting playstyle. Don't think it's going to be, I don't see it as something I think will be awesome for me, but it could be interesting. So my question is, and this is just a simple, I have wonders, is let's go ahead and say we have something there where I am doing, let's say, an auto curse. Auto curse shouldn't have too much doom on it or anything. So dealing more damage for the amount of doom on the removed hex. So let's say I have an auto something that autos. So I auto trigger it, puts a hex on it. Then I cast a hex. Then I hex blast. Do I get a lot from the hex blast, the one that I cast, and then a little bit more from the other one? I.e., somebody like an occultist that can throw 2 curses or maybe 3 curses. How much damage do you get off of a base curse? That's a good question there. Impending Doom support causes supported hexes to trigger Doom Blast when they are removed or expire. Doom Blast deals chaos damage in an area based on the amount of Doom or the hex had when it was removed or expired. Cannot support triggered or aura hexes. So this throws a Doom on it. Okay, so never mind, I got it. You can only put Doom on from Impending Doom, and you can't do it unless you have that gem. So that answers my question. Read. Reading is fundamental. If you read, you probably will be able to pay attention to all that stuff, and you get that pretty easily. Let's see here. The second thing I would sit there and let's look at the pinpoint support. Supported projectiles deal more damage and fire fewer projectiles per intensify. Repeatedly using the supported skill adds intensity. Cannot support and triggered vol, instant, or channeling skills. which reserved mana or skills used to by traps, totems, or mines. I can understand that. Added 28 uniques, including one designed by a supporter. 11 divination cards, 90 new replicas, 800 alternate quality variants, and vendor recipes for a special support gem. Ha ha. Minion new content and features. The following skills have received visual updates: Lightning Strike, Firestorm, Ice Storm, from Whispering Ice, Caustic Arrow, Smoke Mine, Discharge, and all of the curses all have new images. Permanent minions such as golems, zombies, and animated guardians are now saved when you log out. You are automatically resummoned when you log in. Oh, that's nice. That's actually pretty nice. I like that. Makes it a lot easier for when, like, let's say, when I was running when I'm running a minion build. One big problem with a minion build is when you log out and log in to really quickly get from point A to point B in a speed run, you got to figure out where some dead guys are or have desecrate to get the dead guys back or get your minions back so you can keep going. This takes care of that. Automatically get a minions back when you log out and log in. Alright, divination cards, they changed the way they look. A few torches will now light your way to the Lion's Watch. Improve the Atlas Influence visualizations. Significantly improved performance on viewing and using crafting benches. Made multitude of visual effects to the brightness and bloom effect of skills through the game. Improved effects culling across many skills and effects for performance. Continue to incrementally improve sound, art, effects, and environment. So they're trying to make it look prettier for us. They only can do so much with their current environment. So I know that they've got PoE 2 coming, but that's still down the way. Character balances. Projectiles have been reworked to allow more player-friendly behavior. Previously, if a projectile could not perform a step in its behavior sequence, it would skip that behavior, attempt the next, and never attempt to perform the skipped behavior again. Now, the skipped behavior attempt the next, and if it reaches another enemy, attempt to perform the skipped behavior again. For example, a projectile that can both chain and return will now hit a target, and if there are no enemies for it to chain to, it will return. If it then hits another group of enemies, it will attempt to chain again. So that's one of those ones, like I was saying, spectral throw. You throw it out, you got an extra chain out there, but it has nothing to do. So it comes right back. Well, it came back, and you never actually got that chain. Now you get the chain, and or the fork. It's awesome. It's extra damage that you were losing by using those powers. The sequence of behaviors of a projectile will attempt in order now: splitting, piercing, forking, chaining, and then returning. Many modifiers to the effects and durations of chill, shock. That's what I was talking about before, where increased effect of shock now will affect brittle and sap. The descriptions of these modifiers are updated to reflect that. So, well, I don't know if it'll affect brittle, but that's what they're saying. And they're saying chill increase effect will affect chill. Shock will increase brittle, or not brittle. The other one, sap. Most likely, that's what they're talking about. Now, I don't think they're going to cross. That would be interesting, crossing them. Intensity now has a maximum of 3 stacks from 4. Remove the concept of visibility to enemies, replacing stealth. In other words, phase run. I used to just have phase run all the time, and that was the best way to go around and move around. Let's see here. Curses. They reworked curses for us. The rework on the curses. Hexes apply as a curse in the area. Manually cast apply an amount of doom per second to the cursed enemy up to a maximum. Doom increases the effect of the afflicted curse and stacks additively with modifiers to increase curse effects. Marks apply to a single target enemy, and only one enemy can be marked by you at a given time. The marked skills of a Poacher Mark were a Warlord's Mark, Assassin's Mark, Sniper's Mark, previously named Projectile Weakness. Monster rarity no longer affects the effect of the marks. Monsters deep in the Azurite Mine Delve can no longer reduce the efficacy of marks on them. Additions to the number of curses you can inflict on an enemy apply cumulatively to both hexes and marks, but do not modify the number of enemies you have marked at any given time. Thus, you can have an enemy that is affected by both mark and a hex, but can't mark an enemy with two marks, nor can you mark two different enemies. Items and enemies which previously reflected curses will now only reflect hexes. Steel skills. They've made those modifications to the steel skills. Here's the modifications to the marks. No longer cause marks to extra damage from critical strikes. Cursed enemies now have a 100% chance to grant a power charge. Hits against the cursed enemy have a plus 1.5% critical strike chance at all gem levels. That's actually interesting. That actually looks like that might be interesting. Hits against cursed enemies now have a 30% critical strike multiplier, up to 49 at 20. So that's actually pretty good. You get a flat 65 life, flat mana. Poacher's Mark is about the same thing. You get a frenzy charge, flat life, flat mana, 15, 18. Cursed enemies now have 20% to physical damage reduction at all gym levels. That's actually interesting. That seems like a boost to me. We've got no longer causes projectiles to pierce and knock back cursed enemies. Oh, I like that. That's what I used to love about projectile. You do projectile and bounce people back a little bit. Cursed enemies now take 16% increased damage from projectiles hits at level 1 and 35 at 20. Cursed enemies grant life flash charges and mana charges when you hit them. No more than 0.5 seconds at all gem levels. Note that this only applies to hits from the source of the mark and not, for example, your minions. So your minions can't do it for you. Projectiles which hit cursed enemies now split towards 3 additional targets at gem level 1, 4 targets at gem level 20. Cursed enemies now take 1% increased damage from projectiles. All right. No longer causes cursed enemies to have reduced stun. No more stun. Hits against cursed enemies now have 40% chance to double stun duration. So you get, if you can stun them, you get it double the time. You can get rage, and you get 2% mana and life leech. That's not looking good. Not looking good this league. Not looking good at all. Alright, now causes enemies to have 1% chance to grant an endurance charge. Lancing Steel, Shattering Steel. Firestorm. Here, this is the one we're really looking for. Now requires level 38 at gym level 1. So it jumped from 12 to 28. Please be aware that existing low-level characters of Firestorm socket may have that gear slot disabled. Okay, got it. Now has a mana cost of 13 at gym level 1 and 25 at gym level 20. Now has an added damage effectiveness of 50%. That's actually pretty interesting. Deals 22 to 33 damage at level 1 and 207 to 311 fire damage at level 20. Now has base duration of 1.4 seconds with one impact every 0.2 seconds. That's interesting. The first impact now has 100% more area of effect and deals 150% more damage. That is going to be nice. All right, so let me look at something real quick. PoE Firestorm. There we go. I just want to look at it real quick. So max used to be 300. Used to be low. Max used to be 200 to 300. Duration was 2 seconds. Impact is 0.1. Okay, so the change is 7 more damage and 11 more damage. You get a damage effectiveness, which is going to deal with loss of that 0.6 seconds that you had. And you hit every 0.2 seconds versus the every 0.1 second that you were going. So this actually, even overall, this is still a big boost. Still a big boost overall. Glacial Cascade now has a mana cost of 10 at level 1, 20 at level 20. Cast time is 0.6 seconds. Same damage that you have for the fire. The fire one converts 100% of physical damage to cold damage, so you don't need any other thing. And the final spike equals 200% more damage. Okay, now knocks enemies back on hit, so that's a good thing. I don't know who's interested in discharge. If you're interested in discharge, text me. I'll read it to you. Punishment no longer causes enemies to grant more melee damage and physical damage on hit. No longer causes cursed enemies to grant increased attack speed on melee hit. No longer causes enemies to take 20% negative 20% physical damage reduction. Now causes cursed enemies to have 50% increased damage while on low life. 88 increased damage at level 20. Causes cursed enemies you hit to be debilitated for 2 seconds. Debilitated. How much damage does debilitated give? I mean, I've never really used debilitated, but I mean, is it that huge? I mean, I'm about to look at that. Okay, so the vitality, the gem that nobody uses except for unless you had a watcher's eye. All right, so I used it for a while. I really did. I tried to use this, but for what it was, it just, I mean, why use it? I mean, throw a stone golem on and use something else. I just never really got the boost out of it. No longer grants life regeneration based on your maximum life. Gets 20. Requires level 10. You get a 25 mana reserve all the way up to 233. Now causes you and your nearby allies to regenerate 15% or 15 life per second at level 1, 247 at level 20. Now requires 25% less strength at all gym levels. That's actually pretty good. Skill balances: Lightning Trap, Glacial Hammer, Vol Glacial Hammer, Ice Shot, Lightning Arrow, and all the other ones. Now each also affect the alternate version of their corresponding elemental ailments. Alternate versions of their corresponding elemental ailments. So is it saying that my Glacial Hammer, if I get it to do brittle, it'll now affects brittle, just like it would affect the chill or frozen? I'll have to look into that. Only gems which are curses will now have the curse tag. Okay. That's so we can't double dip and do things like that. That's actually understandable, and I can accept that. Ball Lightning now deals 3 to 48 lightning damage at level 1. That's down a little bit. And up to 22 to force 26. That's down a little bit also on the max level. Radius has dropped from 22 to 18. It's kind of significant, actually. Now requires 25 less intelligence at all gym levels for clarity. Okay, so they didn't change anything. They just made it so that you can use it a little bit easier. Conductivity causes curses applied with casting a spell now gain 10% more doom, or 10 doom per second. Now causes hex enemies 25% chance to be shocked at all gym levels from 10 and up to 14 at gym level 20. So, ooh, that actually is interesting. Heck, conductivity is actually a nice one. It looks like curses applied. Oh, so okay, I'll get to y'all in a second on this one. This is one of those ones that I'm like, oh, they slipped this one in on me. So, you remember how back in the day, or you know how when you sit there and you're doing multiple different versions of elemental damage, you just throw elemental weakness in there and you get a big boost because it's on both sides. Well, you might actually get a bigger boost doing one side now. The reason why is because conductivity went to a flat 25%, flammability flat 25%, frost flat 25%. So it might be better just to choose one and use that one over what does elemental weakness give? Elemental weakness gives of course it didn't want to tab out for me. There we go. Elemental weakness. %39% to all elemental resistances. Nah, it actually still is better doing this one. You start at 20, you end up at 39, which so you start at 20. So by the time you get to level 6, you're equal to the other jewels. You get that sucker up to level 20 and you beat the other jewels by at least 14. So it's still better just to throw elemental weakness on there. Huh. I wonder why they didn't think about that. That's because, let's look at this. There's no change to elemental weakness. But they gave us a flat to there. Are they getting rid of the other bonuses that come from them, like flammability and stuff like that? Oh, never mind. Let's just get on back down to what we're doing. Oh, no. I'm such an idiot. Oh my God. Reading's fundamental. This is why we got to read. Now causes enemies to have a 25% chance to be shocked at all gym levels. So they didn't change the reduction. They just gave you the shock capability is better. Same with the flame of the ignite. Same with the frozen. So you get a better freeze at it. That's what it was. Sorry about all the mistakes. Oh my Lord, that's interesting. Yeah, we talked about this. This is just terrible. Now longer grants a minimum of 1 endurance charge. No longer grants a minimum of 1 endurance charge. Ooh. That's interesting. No longer causes cursed enemies to have reduced critical strikes, chance, and critical multiplier. Curse is applied by casting a spell on radius is increased. And now gains an effective curse per quality. We already discussed this. I made that mistake, leaving that alone. Of course, we know the stealth change is on there. No longer has strength requirement. Precision no longer has a strength requirement. It's all dex, baby. All dex. That's actually interesting. Oh, somebody's favorite spell. Additional radius. That's good. Gains 1% curse effect per quality. Vulnerability. No damage over time. Ooh, that's not good. No longer causes attack hits to have a chance to maim. So you got to maim off of something else. Well, that's okay. If you were using it, you were maiming usually off of a flesh and stone in blood stance or something like that. Now causes ailments inflicted on cursed enemies to deal 20% faster. So it's 20% faster ticks for your poisons, and your bleeds. So that's actually pretty okay. They got rid of invulnerability increases, or making people invulnerables to elemental effects. Awakened curse on hit support, now named Awakened Hex support. Now only supports hex skills. Grants supported hex a chance to inflict a chance to affect hexed enemies, hex-proof enemies. So you have a chance to do a hex-proof enemy with the Awakened. Intensify. Maximum. You now have maximum of 3 from 4. This no longer is tied to the support gem. As skills such as Crackling Lance, you can utilize intensity. Supported skills now have 50% less area effect at all levels. Damage for 1 level. There you go. Dim mark. We already discussed this probably discussed it. Spell Sling has been discussed to death. Everybody's talked about it. I mean, at least 4 or 5 times it's been talked about. Maybe 10. Maybe 25. We don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Alright. Passive tree rebalances. Keystone Doomsday causes hex to be cast and applied to an area, applying a hex to all enemies in it over its duration. The hex area contains its maximum doom after a short secondary duration. The glancing blow Keystone now causes you to take 65% of damage from blocked hits from 50%. It can be moved. It has been moved, so as to make it more difficult to acquire via the Thread of Hope jewel. Oh my God, it's that one jewel I can't stand. Let me just verify, but I think it's that jewel that I can't stand that says you can't get to it. Yep, there you go. So, in other words, nobody's going to use that. The divine flesh keystone attained through glorious now grants 5+5 maximum chaos resistance, down from +10. The skittering runes cluster have moved just below the heart of thunder. The notable now grants +10 maximum doom and 10% increased effect of curses, from 15% increased effect of curses. The Whispering Doom cluster has been moved next to the Chaos Inoculation. The first passive in the cluster now grants 10% increased cast speed for curses, 15 from 15. The small passives for the left path now grant 50% increased Doom gain rate, from 15 increased cast speed for curses. The Hexmaster cluster has moved to the left side of the tree next to Disciple of the Forbidden. It now has three small passive notables. The entry passive now has 5 increased effect of curses. The 2 passive before the notable each grant 50% increased doom for the doom rate. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get that doom rate increase like really big. The corruption cluster has moved to the where Whispering Doom used to be. It's 6 passives, with the original passives making up the entirety of the left path. The notable now grants 0.2 chaos damage, least as energy shield. The right path is 4% resistance to penetration, chaos penetration. The new Dark Intent cluster has been added where the Skitter runes used to be. It grants increases the effect of your curses. Curses reduced mana reservation of curse aura skills, increased damage with hits and ailments against cursed enemies, and additional starting doom for all hexes you apply. So this is really starting to look in it kind of not happy for me, but it's looking like it's gonna be one of them days. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this through. Get some the new dark Mark the Week cluster. Oh, that's actually interesting. Huh. Don't know why I did that. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, there we go. Mark the Week cluster has been the Southeast Ranger. The grants increased cast speed for curses and causes hits against marked enemies to be increased critical strike chance. It also causes marked enemies to have reduced accuracy, take increased damage, and grant additional flash charges when slain. Not feeling it. Okay. So the Mark Death cluster has been added to the southeast of the Duelist tree. Alright, cool. Nothing on that one. The Assassins got some changes. We all knew about that one. They pretty much explained that one out. Tags, Bound Fossils, Labyrinth Enhancements, which grant reduced mana reservations for Vitality, now grant 20 and 30% reduced mana reservations from 14 to 20%. Lance and Steels, we're not worried about those. Alright. Alright, these are the ones that they didn't explain, but they explained it here. This is good. Eye of the Storm now increases the effect of non-damaging ailments you afflict with critical strikes, previously specified chill and shock, but it now also works with alternate elemental ailments. Precise Commander now causes you and your nearby allies to have 25% increased critical strike chance from the 30 and 10 plus 10% critical strike multiplier instead of 12. Vengeful Commander now grants 20% increased effect of anger, hatred, wrath auras, and that's 10% down. As down 10% from what it was before. Vicious Bite, which is what I used before, now grants your minions plus 15% to critical strike multiplier instead of the 20%, and a 30% increased critical strike chance from 50%. So that's a major change. It brings down a lot. Let's see here. Huh. Oh. Items which previously inflicted a random curse now inflict a random hex. Okay. This affects Soul Mantle. So yeah, Soul Mantle, we knew about that. Thunder Fist. And Storm Charger each now grant increased lightning ailment duration on enemies rather than increased shock duration. Storm Charger and Dorian Fist now grant lightning ailment effect. Crystal Vault now grants increased cold ailment effect rather than increased chill effect. Okay, so the cold ailments are going to be brittle, going to be frozen, going to be chill. So that's actually pretty good. What they're doing is they're beefing up your ailments a little bit. To me, that's what it looks like. Now, Blood Reaper now grants 20% life regeneration, or 20 life regeneration per second. It's up from 10. Existing versions of this item updated can be done with Divine Orb. Blood Grip, 1624 life regen per second. My Artifice now triggers Icicle skill on hit rather than on kill. This affects all versions of the item. So this is that one Glacial Hammer thing that never really worked out real well. And I tried it multiple times trying to use this daggone hammer. Sucked every time. But that's because probably I couldn't scale it well. Now, I think probably there's a way to scale it better these days, but I'm better at scaling, but still not as good as probably online most of the streamers. Gluttony no longer has a 30% portrait mark on hit. No longer grants Culling Strike. Oh, that sucks. Now grants 20 to 28 life on hit with attacks against cursed enemies. 10 to 14 mana on hits attacks against cursed enemies, and Culling Strike against cursed enemies. Oh, okay, got it. So they made it more broad for that Culling Strike. Okay, so Gluttony used to be, it's still not a good build. I would rather use Soul Tether or one of those others in the place of that. Mark of Submission now curses enemies with socketed Hex Gem on hit. Profane Proxy now only causes socketed hexes to be applied as an aura rather than a skitterbot. Ooh. Or around your skitterbot. Okay. The Projectiles cluster no longer applies projectile weakness to players. Now it applies despair instead. The Tempest Liberation, is skill used by the Greater Harbinger of Storms, no longer try to chain the targets as it is already affected. Watcher's Eyes. Ooh. This hurts. Do I have to read it? Watcher's Eyes now grant 10 to 15% increased energy shield recovery rate while affected by discipline. That's from 20 to 30. Now grant 6 to 10 maximum mana as extra max energy shield while affected by clarity from 12 to 18. Now grant 10 to 15 increased mana recovery rate while affected by clarity from 20 to 30. It's all nerfs. Can now grant 10 to 15 increased life recovery rate while affected by vitality. Can now grant... Oh, my God. They just keep nerfing. Nerf here, nerf here, nerf... Look, let's just go ahead and say it. Anything that was on a Watcher's Eye is now nerfed. Just accept it. Let's move on. The Whispering Ice. The Ice Storm skill has undergone a sufficient rebalance with larger impacts falling in the smaller area, making it more significantly more likely to hit targets within the area multiple times over the short duration than before. 2 to 4 base cold damage per 10 intelligence. That's up, so you get a boost in damage. The duration is shorter. It looks like it now gains 0.1 seconds additional base duration per 100 intelligence. That is down from what it was before. There is now one impact every 0.2 seconds instead of 0.1. Now has an added damage effectiveness of 60%. So that's actually up 15%. Now has a maximum 5 storms at a time. Any more than that replaces the oldest storm. Impacts now have a base radius. Okay, so we're good on there. Raised Spectre versions. All right. Knights have approximately 33% less life and damage than before. Bam! Ouch. Did that hurt? My back hurts. My back hurts. Okay, hold up. Yeah, my back hurts. Okay, so that hurt. I can't carry that one. Bosses throughout the path of background monsters deep in Azure no longer reducing that. Yeah, got it. Pax, got it. Deadwill, got it. Atlas map changes. This is big. Map tiers and locations have been shuffled through the pin locations on the map. Most maps are now initially found at a different tier. Unique maps have not moved or changed tiers. Improved signaling for advancing the Atlas questline step with Zana opens a portal after the map boss is slain. Perpetuary Incarcerator will no longer spawn infinite skeletons if he's allowed to live indefinitely. Ancient Architect, boss of the pier, can no longer summon spiked ground on top of other spiked ground. That's good, so you don't get doubly shot with that. Fortune favor the brave. Cost 3 mana. 3 chaos. Sorry. Abyss, 2 chaos. Domination, 2 chaos. Bloodlines, 3 chaos. Nemesis, 4 chaos. Beyond, 5 chaos. Blight, 8 chaos. Delirium, 16 chaos. Wow! That Delirium still might be worth it, though. Blight balances. Blight towers have been rebalanced to try to provide a better diversity of strategies by handling blighted maps. Arch towers are now 70% faster. Shock Nova towers are 50% faster. Chilling towers have a 50% more chill effect than a cooldown of 4 seconds from 7 seconds. Seismic towers have 50% more skill effect duration than the 4 seconds. Minion towers have 3 seconds before resummoning the dead minions. That's definitely good. Frostbolt towers now cast twice as fast and have half their previous cooldown. They now have fire an additional projectile. Stone Gaze towers reduce action speed by 20%. That's up from what it was before. Scouts Scouts from Scout Towers have 38% more attack speed and 50% more damage. That's actually pretty good. So these are all quest rewards where they're going to be changing where people get different gems. So that's where that is. I never really pay PvP, so there's going to be some questions on that one. They got a bunch of bug fixes. So that is what we have so far with the updates. Looks like I'm going to have to go back to work. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.